Hey guys, I'm back. After a year away, I'm back. If you guys don't remember me, and let's be honest, many of you won't, I'm True Blue Paladin, and I thought after watching some other wrestlers, creators make certain content, and yes, guys, even though I've been away, I have been watching all your shows. I watch everything I'm subscribed to, so don't worry, I've been watching it, and you guys have been doing awesome. Anyway, beside the point. Anyway, I thought the first video back I would do is how I became a wrestling fan. So here goes. I've been a wrestling fan on and off for over 30 years. Uh, just a disclaimer, there will be swearing. Also, I've got crib notes, so if you see me look off the screen, it's because I've got crib notes to help me. Because I've got a problem with my memory and I had to write a few things down just to trigger certain memories. And after talking to a few people, I managed to piece together certain things. So if I'm a little off, maybe a month, maybe a year, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my best. That's all I can do. All right. Anyway, how I became a wrestling fan. Uh, my first memory of watching wrestling was 1990. I was 8 years old. Me and my little brother, who was 6, were downstairs. We just finished watching Sunday morning cartoons. We were finished eating our cereal. We were both clad to the nines in our pajamas with our little buddies next to us. I had a Pink Panther plushie. My brother had the creepy, and yes, it's still creepy, Teddy Ruxpin. Creepy bear. Beside the point. And we had just finished watching cartoons, and I got up and I needed to kill an hour before I think the original Gladiators came on, American Gladiators came on. So I got up because it's the 1990s, and I had to actually turn the knob to change the channel. I know, shocking. Anyway, I was flipping through the mega channels we had because it's again 1990 normal TV. Anyway, I flipped over to, I think it was channel 9, and me and my brother were taken back by what we saw. We saw two burly men dressed in bright colors fighting. Well, one was getting his ass kicked, and the other one was giving the ass kicking, but we were hooked. I don't know whether it was because of the two men, their brightly colored attire, or the roar of the crowd, but we were hooked. Later, I found out that the actual thing we were watching was Earthquake attacking Hulk Hogan and putting him out for a couple of months, so he could do one of these crappy movies. I don't remember which one. It was before their SummerSlam 1990 match. But anyway, that's beside the point. After after watching this, me and my little brother were hooked. We had to watch the rest of the show. We just had to. Forget American Gladiators. If it went past the time when we were supposed to watch American Gladiators, so be it. Anyway, so we're hooked. So after that show was over, we just kept coming back and coming back, coming back. Um, Sorry guys, I'm looking at my crib notes. Um, now that now that we knew about wrestling, well, now that we knew about this show, Superstars, just in case you wanted to know, we watched it every week without fail. We even tried to get one of our friends to watch it, but he had other crap to do, and he had to go to church on Sundays because his mother was a devout Christian. But regardless, our mum gave up that year because me and my brother had no desire to go to church. Well, Protestant church, but regardless. Anyway, so we continued to watch it, and now that we knew about wrestling, the video store now was a different adventure altogether because me and my brother scaled our two crappy video stores in our area for any wrestling VHS we could find. And there was about 10. So every weekend, without fail, I went down there after school on a Friday and rented them out, all 10. And we watched them over the weekend. Sometimes me and my little brother watched them together. Other times I watched them by myself. But every weekend, without fail, after school, I could try to convince my dad to get down there early, and I'd rent out all 10. Jesus, by the end of it, the video store clerk knew to keep them aside for me because he knew I was going to rent them. Sometimes I managed to rent all 10. Other times, some people got there before me, and I couldn't. I could only rent a few, maybe 5. Anyway, we continued watching Superstars until I think about early '92, and then we couldn't find it anymore. Whether or not it got cancelled or moved to another time or whatever, we couldn't find it, or I couldn't find it. So, from '92 to late '97, all I had to get my wrestling fix was 2 crappy video stores and whatever video VHSs they got in. And let's be honest, they weren't a lot. It was really bad. But regardless, that's all I had until '97 when I was able to buy wrestling magazines because I had a little money saved up to buy wrestling magazines every month. Well, not every month, but every couple months. The next time I watched a primetime wrestling program was late '97, and that's thanks to me begging my father to get Foxtel cable TV, Foxtel in Australia. To this day, I don't know whether or not it was me constantly badgering him or the fact that on Foxtel a new sci-fi show, Stargate, came on. My dad's a big sci-fi fan, so I don't know whether it was me, my begging, or Stargate, but we finally got Foxtel. I was over the moon because I could finally watch wrestling again. Yay! Anyway, the first wrestling show I watched was WCW Nitro, and that was, I think, the night after Fall Brawl '97. So I got the first image I saw of Nitro was the video of Kurt Hennig slamming the cage door on Ric Flair's head and basically turning on the Four Horsemen to join the NWO. A few nights after that, one of my mates told me about WWF Raw's War, and that the fact that we got that on Fox Sports 2, and I think they showed that on late Saturday. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it was late Saturday. So I managed to get my wrestling fix twice a week. For Raw's War, I first watched that during the end of the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels feud. So I managed to see the end bit of that. But now that I had 2 wrestling shows a week, I was in wrestling heaven. I was still renting wrestling VHSs from the video store when I could. I tried every weekend, and they funneled through a few. I mean, you got a few here and there, but to be honest, there wasn't a lot. So I kept on renting the same ones, basically. But I also managed to get to watch the daily shows, Nitro, Raw, sorry. And occasionally I managed to actually get my dad to buy a pay-per-view, so everything was going good. But with most things, even though I was watching the boom period, like they say, you take the good with the bad, and God, was there some bad. Let's go through it. Finger Poker Doom, Katie Vick, May Young Hand, just to name a few. Like a true wrestling fan, I taped everything I could. Jesus, I had so many VHS tapes at one point. They covered a good portion of the garage at the old place, but what you gonna do? Later on, I started running out of space, so I was forced to, I think in late '98, convert all my VHS tapes to DVD. In 1998, my wrestling collection started growing as I started to be able to afford wrestling VHSs. Um, I bought most of them from actual shops, but the first three that I bought, VHSs, with my own money, came from a pop-up video store. Now, you guys might not understand what a pop-up video store is. It's a video store that pops up in the middle of a Westfields or a shopping centre, stays for about 2 weeks, and then disappears. I believe that's because they were selling probably not all their VHSs and other stuff were legit. So I'm presuming that's why they disappeared after a couple of weeks. The tapes I got were actually legit. And those tapes were Hardcore Heaven 95, Heatwave 95, and FMW Yokozuna Deathmatch, which first shot my love for FMW. But getting those tapes were a real pain in the ass. In 2002, I extended my wrestling collection by buying DVDs. Thanks to the first job I had, which was a shelf filler in Big W, Walmart's for you Americans. And with my first paycheck, I got my first 3 sets of DVDs, which were free pay-per-views from ECW in the 2000s. I only started collecting DVDs because I got an original Xbox, because I was a cheapskate and refused to buy a DVD player. I waited until I got my Xbox because it had a crappy DVD player in there, but that was good enough for me because I'm a cheapskate. Now it's well into 2003. I'm watching and collecting wrestling, and it's ingrained into my life. I try to watch and collect as much as I could within reason. And when the video stores started dying off in probably the early, 2004, 2005, I started buying all the VHS and DVD wrestling items I could find. It's actually the reason why I got those 2 New Japan tapes. I got them from crawling through a warehouse that was selling VHS tapes, and that's how I got those 2, covered in soot and other grimy shit, but I got them, so my win. With the birth of YouTube and eBay, it made it easier to watch and buy other wrestling from other wrestling companies like ROH, PWG, and New Japan, making my collection grow and show me new things. Also in 2005 and later, I had the honor of actually going to some WWE house shows because I would put some money aside for them. And for the most part, they were great. The only one I regret going to was in 2009. That was the Hulkamania Let the Battle Begin tour. That was the drizzling shits. The ladder match was the only decent match there. And the Hogan Ric Flair match, which went at 0 pace. Jesus, did go at 0 pace. Most of the people left the actual arena before that match even finished. I stood there to the bitter end because I paid a lot of money for my ticket. But I can guarantee you that there was less than 20% of people in that. It wasn't sold out, but there was less than 20% of people in there at the end of that thing. And Hogan and Ric Flair knew they shit the bed because it was deadly quiet. Unfortunately, like everything, wrestling started getting stale. For the most parts, I stayed with it. You know, you take the good and the bad, the up, the down, regardless. I fought through it, but 2016, I hit my breaking point. I think it was I can't remember what it was, but I hit my breaking point in 2016. You can only take so much crap and eat it before enough is enough. And in 2016, I hit my end of my rope. So I became from a hardcore fan to a casual fan. Yes, I still buy the DVDs, WWE DVDs, but I moved on to Ring of Honor, PWG, New Japan. I'm no longer a die-hard WWE fan like I was in the peak era. I'm a casual fan now. But I always will be a wrestling fan, and I always will be a wrestling collector till the day I die. It's one of my passions. It brings me great, great joy. And that won't change. I love going back and watching the old stuff. Hell, I buy compilation things off eBay from other people when they're decently priced. And I'll continue to do that until I'm too old to remember. And that's just that. Well, guys, that's it. That's how I became a wrestling fan. Thank you for letting me tell this story, get it off my chest. I've been True Blue Paladin. You guys have been awesome. I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.